So now I want to approach this mix by adjusting some volume and some panning. Usually you're going to do panning first because that might open up some space when we place things sonically in the stereo field between the left and the right speakers. So you might find that you would have to adjust the volume after you do some panning anyway. But also, before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm properly supporting the lead vocal with this vocal harmony. I don't want them to be laying right on top of each other, like two mono signals flat on top of each other. So what I'm going to do here is first duplicate the harmony vocals one time with all the processing settings and all that stuff. Resize myself so I can see everything in my session. And now what I'm going to do is pan the vocal harmonies about 43, 45, something like halfway across the stereo field so that they're on the side supporting the lead vocal right here in the middle. Now I haven't really listened to it and adjusted volume yet. I just want to make sure that those are on the side so we can prioritize the lead vocals. Now I'm going to listen and make adjustments to volume. I'd like to stay right in the edit window and just mess with volume here. And that's how I'm going to approach this. So I'm going to listen to a section where, we get lots of both sets of vocals, loop playback, and take a listen, make adjustments to volume.
Waiting for you, I've been waiting for you. Ooh, I can see this.
Okay, sounding pretty good for me like that. I just want to include everything else now. I'm also going to spread, notice that my stereo audio tracks are hard panned left and right. So I'm going to bring the overdub piano just a little bit. And again, this is for a couple reasons. I want to separate it from the sort of like baseline piano, but I also am just trying to fill out the stereo space a little bit because we're basically dealing with only, two piano tracks and two different vocals. So I'm just trying to make the most out of the stereo space that I'm given. So here we go.
It's time to let it go. It's time to let it show. I've been waiting for you. I've been.
Notice that there's like a lot of sparkle in that high end. Now I purposely created it like that, sculpted it with EQ to be like that, but I don't want it to be overpowering. So I'm just like, kind of pulling some things down. It's always good practice to pull things down in the mix as opposed to constantly making boosts. So if you think about it like this, we don't really have a very complicated session, but if we had say 40 tracks in here, I'm like, oh, I can't really hear the vocals, and you bump it up a little bit. Well, like now I can't really hear the guitar, bump it up a little bit. All of a sudden you've got all this sound. So it's better to identify things that you want to hear more of and turn everything else down a little bit. Let's jump ahead in the song.
I can see it's time to relieve.
Okay, cool. So I think we're in a good place balance-wise, but we're still going to want to do a couple other things to showcase some differences between the lead vocals and the harmonies, and we'll get to that in the next tutorial.